Hello there, royalty crew, and welcome to our round 11 versus Parramatta Eels Magic Round review show as the Storm go back-to-back with a 34-8 win. This show is proudly brought to you by our Freedom Finance Group. Give Con a call and the team. Give Con and the team a call and have your finances sorted, money saved. And even if you want to just have a chat, Con is always up for a chat. He loves it. The bloke can talk with a mouth full of concrete. Give him a call. I'll put it in. I'll put his number in the chat. Now, just a quick one. The jersey giveaway. It closed at midnight on Friday. I've started going through the list. I've got a special way to do it, which I will do it on, and I know it works. I know it's definitely going to work, so we're going to do it on the Tuesday preview show for round 12, and which I think is nice because it leads into Origin team announcements, which I think New South Wales will say today, and tomorrow will be the Queensland Maroons team. Aaron, we've gone back-to-back, won 34-8. What does this win mean to you? Oh, sorry, before we do that, how are you, brother?
I'm very well, mate. Very happy Sunday morning here in my house after a win. Watched the replay. I watched it last night and I watched it this morning again. We haven't had enough wins this year, so I just feel like I've got to keep watching them.
We are 4 wins now. How good is that? What does that mean to you? And what does this win mean to you?
Yeah, look, for the club, I mean, we needed to steady the ship. We needed to start finding some consistency, and it really feels like the defensive lapses we had at the start of the year have gone missing, and it really looks like we're working hard on the defensive end for each other. I mean, it wasn't a great game last night. It was actually a pretty sloppy game from both teams, but overall, we defended well. We stuck with it and we put them away at the end. So very happy personally, and I'm sure the boys are bringing some confidence in for a big game next week against the Doggies, hopefully to go 3-0.
Yeah, I second exactly what you thought there. It was a must-win game, basically, to me, in my head, even with being that it's round 11. We lose that game, we're 3 wins and 9 losses, and I just... or 3 wins and 8 losses, or whatever the maths is. But and I think it would have been done. The season was over, basically, in my view. Especially now because we're going into Origin, so I predict a couple of losses along here. But it is what it is. We will continue to keep trying. But this was a huge win, and our first time we've gone back to back in this season alone since round 2, when we then went on a 7-game trot. So for me, I went to bed very happy. I've woken up incredibly happy, and I was very, very excited to get through all the comments and read everything, and then excited to come and do this podcast. It's so much more fun doing a podcast after a win than it is after a loss. Mate, let's get into the talking points about the game. So this was ugly. It was an ugly game. At one point in time, I messaged a few of my mates and said, this is probably the ugliest game I've seen all year. And there's been some ugly ones. Statistically, it was just poor, particularly through the errors. Aaron, my first question is, and because this has been brought up, was this because defense was just great and pressure, etc., or was it the weather? Or is it just 2 teams that were rightfully 14th versus 15th at the time? Or what was the go? Because there was 32 errors in this game. It was at one point with 20 minutes to go, there was more errors than points scored.
Yeah, no, it was both sides were struggling to hold the ball, and I don't know. The weather was not great. It was a little bit slippery out there, and the ground was a little bit chewed up. But even Bellamy said in the post match, you can't blame that for the shit handling and some of the errors we made. I just thought a little bit of complacency there, but thankfully, every time we seem to make an error, the Parramatta on the first tackle after that error or the penalty, they just drop it again. So we kind of got let off the hook. That first half was finished 10-4, but I mean, there could have been a lot more points both ways if both teams had held the ball. So I'm not going to say it's the weather. I'm just going to say we weren't quite on ball handling wise, but we were lucky to not be put to the sword.
Yeah, I agree. How many times, like I was going through my notes and I'm like, another, and as I was writing the error, writing what happened with the error in the game notes, it was like it just as quick it went back, and here I am trying to catch up with notes that at Paras forced themselves into another error, and I couldn't keep up. Writing error after error after error after error. It was hard to write.
Yeah, I wrote a few down in the first half. Like, I just wrote bad errors in the first half. I mean, there was more errors than this, but like bad ones. Trent Loera dropped that ball coming out of the back end after points. We just scored. We wanted to come out of there, and he dropped that ball. That puts us straight back on the back foot. And then the very first play of the ball, Brian Kelly dumps it and drops it, and we get it straight back. I thought, mate, he let us off the hook there. And then Jerome Hughes did that pass where it went behind the player and hit the deck. And again, we're on the march, and we really probably should have scored there. We had him on the back foot, and that's just no good from Doozy when we're supposed to be on the march. And then Munster dropped one inside our 20, and then Howarth, he did one as well where he's standing back up and tried to play the ball, and he lost it, and that put the pressure on us. But then very next play, Dylan Walker dropped the crash ball, and they bombed a certain try. So we got lucky. I mean, thankfully, Parramatta weren't capitalising on our errors, and on the flip side, we did defend well after errors, which was pleasing.
Well, I want to talk about that. Meters, Eels, 1,461 for the game. Storm, 1,997. To me, this shows our gritty, hard-nosed defence because, yes, we made so many mistakes, but we were also... And there was a lot of just really poor mistakes, and I can single out a few. Chan comes on late in the game, and his defense was just nowhere. It was like he hadn't been warming up and he wasn't ready to come on. But his defense was just so bad for that period of time. But there were other mistakes across the board, yet we still grinded it out to only allow 1,461 metres. We had 28 missed tackles to their 47. I think that was a really good game defensively, and our goal line defence reminded me of the times when we were just pummeling teams and they could not get through us. It was just a brick wall. Aaron, our defence was fantastic. Let's touch on that.
Yeah, we put ourselves under pressure, but when we did, we held up, and really the edges seem to be working with each other now. I wrote notes here about the Howarth switch over to the left edge with Munster and Blore. Those three look comfortable. I know we had to change it up and put Meaney out to the wing later in the game, but
injury forced. Yep.
Yeah, those three there, they really look comfortable around each other. So I think the attacking side of Howarth on the right, that's going to be put to bed now. We're not going to see Jack line up on the right anymore. He's got to be on that left, and that makes Munster feel calm on defence, and they really held their own over there. It also
helped Moses Leo, and I thought Moses Leo was fantastic defensively on both sides of the field, because I think he looks to his inside and he just sees this big bopping Jack Howarth and Sean Blore locking that down.
Howarth moves well laterally, and he moves over and gives Leo that hand out there. I think Leo on the edge, on the wing, it's a better option. He doesn't have to make decisions there, and sometimes in the past it looks like he's made some poor reads or put pressure on the men outside or inside of him. So at least on the wing, he's only got to focus on himself and just stick with Jack and concentrate on holding his line, and he did. I think he made 5 line breaks, ran for 150 odd metres in 50 minutes before he went down injured. He looked great. So I don't mind Moses on the wing. I still think he made 3 errors, and he's got those errors in his game, which is, it's fine. I'm not going to blast him over the errors, but that's what he needs to work on. He is that explosive type footballer, and he does things at a pace that's, frenetic, but he does need to remember that the errors are going to be costly and people are going to talk about him. So that's my area of focus for Moses, but if we keep getting an opportunity to play him, I don't mind him on the wing.
There were 3 handling errors. I'm just looking at that for Moses Leo. 165 metres, 3 handling errors. One of them was a kick, wasn't it? Off a kick. I think it was a drop, spill. Can't remember. I can't remember.
I just want to say one thing. You said the 2,000 metres thing. Like that's great. Whenever you're making 2,000 metres, that's a good game. we would sit here and we'd say, geez, we hope our forwards ran for big metres. But I tallied up the numbers for the back five, and our back five totaled for 856 metres, and that's before you take into the fact that Moses went off for 30 minutes. So 856 out of 2,000 come from our back five, and there was half an hour where one of those players wasn't on the ground. So if your back five can take the pressure off your forwards like that, and the forwards can focus on defence, which they did. Our forwards were great through the middle. That takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. What I also find very funny about that is with 1,997 metres for us, we had 203 runs at a completion rate of 71%, whereas you look at the Eels, they had a better completion rate at 77%. We both had 16 errors each. They only had 181 runs for a 1,461, which tells you a few things. A lot of those errors that they did were very early in the tackle count, which meant that it just meant that we kept being able to get in good field position and gives us that momentum. And as you said, our back five just absolutely dominated in terms of our run meters, which is what I wanted to talk about next. And that's, gosh, I'm proud of our kick return game, because Moses' kick game last night was just fantastic. And we said that this is what you've got to do. You've got to watch it. There was moments where there was a 7 meter tackle set by Para that we defended really well. Moses kicked the ball freaking 65 meters and buried us very deep off a 7 meter set. There was like 3 or 4 where we defended so well. We allowed them 21 under 30 meters. Moses bombs it. Somehow for a skinny man, his leg is just a bazooka. He kicked 591 meters. He buried us deep over and over again, but our return meters, 297 meters to their 91, to our 91, to their 91 meters, made our kick return game was I think probably the biggest reason why we were able to win this game.
I actually had them down in my notes. I was going to bring that up today as well. The kick return meters being that far different when Moses just kept putting the bombs up for us, and Sua he just runs straight back at him. He's electric from the back there, and he had a few moments where he's happy to pass as well. There's people back there with him, and it's not just Sua coming off the back. It's people looking for work off those kick returns as well. So definitely the kick chase was great. For them to only make 96 metres off their kick returns just proves that, especially, when we talked about it. That's what we talked about before the game. They're going to pin us back in our end, and we got to get out of there. So we did a real good job there.
I think we did a better than real good job, to be fair. And your point, I'm not having a go at your point at all. I'm super proud of what we did, because we've both called it out in recent weeks. Around our kick return and opposition burying us deep and then kick chase, and then our guys not getting back quick enough. But when our guys can return like they did to stop the best fifth tackle kicker in the competition, to do that literally was just fantastic.
I thought we handled him really well too. I mean, he had a fair few kicks that were hard to handle. Sua took a few good ones. Warbrick took a few good ones. I mean, we really did a good job taking those kicks in the weather.
The belly ball, high ball kick that he does, it's
ugly, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's no wonder why a couple of people drop them.
I know. Yeah, that's right. And then in the back end of the second half, I mean, Sua drops one. It's a difficult one, but he drops one, and it does prove to be costly. And then Meany drops one straight after it, and I was a little bit concerned then that we might unravel a little bit, but thankfully we got back to it pretty quick.
I only allow that one try off that too, which was good. Speaking of tries, let's move into it. So we scored 34 points. They scored 8. We had 6 tries. Let's analyse these tries. So, Aaron, the first try was Leo. And what a try that was.
Yeah, well,
God, he dominated early, man.
Let's go the first one. Let's go the Sean Russell one first. I know their one's good, but let's talk about that. I thought Meany had a bloody good game, but Sean Russell just one-on-one Meany and let that was 4-0 the first one. They scored.
Oh, yeah, Sean Russell does. Yes.
One-on-one on Meany. I mean, I went back, I watched that because live I was like, how the fuck did he get through there? I watched it. We set up great for that. We were all over it. And all Meaney needs to do is make his tackle. And everyone's in the right spot. There's no excuses for that. He just misses a one-on-one. So pretty bad from Meaney there. Pretty bad way to start the game to give them some kind of hope. I was a little bit worried after seeing that. But thankfully, Meaney got back on his game pretty quick and really did a pretty good job.
And that's the one, at halftime, that's the one missed tackle that Sewer had, and the bloody comments wrote up about Sewer missing that tackle. And it was like,
that's not on Sewer.
That wasn't Sewer's fault, that was on Meaney. Sewer's not supposed to be defending there with a guy running at him for 10 metres off Meaney's piss-poor soft effort, and I thought that was poor. I didn't mind, I thought attacking-wise Meaney was pretty good for this game. Defensively, he made some bad mistakes. It was quite unusual for him because he's been pretty good when he's in the centres. So that was a little bit disappointing. Let's move to Leo's try.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. He got the ball on the outside there. How did I wrote Harry Doozy, straightened up to money, and then they shifted it out, and then basically when Leo got the ball, he just stood him up. His turn of pace is really quick. He's got some acceleration there, and he left the two, I think it was Sean Russell and Brian Kelly standing there. He burned him on the outside, so he's deadly out there.
Man, his pace is so good. I wrote a few times just when he can get that space and he can get the 2 steps that he needs to just get the motor going. My gosh. He's not like a burst of speed from nothing. Like he's got to get a little bit, but once he gets going, he's agile. He's got great sidestep, lateral movements. Man, it was so good to see. And then we moved to the Howarth try, and at the time, everyone blows up to say this is the best Magic round try so far. I thought, what a fantastic try, mate.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I had notes before that just saying that Harry's just making those Parramatta markers look really silly. Like even before that one, they just couldn't get their A and B square, and Harry was just all over it, and he was straight out over the advantage line. He wasn't making big meters before that, but he was noticing it, and it was clear. And on this one, Moretti just doesn't get back, and he's stuck there, and he stands up straight, and Harry just grabs him by the shirt and just gives him a little pushback and then sneaks around him, and he just makes him look silly there. And once Harry got through, Munster was pushing up on the outside. He spoke about it on 167, how he needs to push and he needs to make sure he's there for the play if it comes. And it came that time. And because Munster put himself in that position, he was there to get it back. And then Doozy was already supporting through the middle as well. So that's what you want to see from 3 players, a bit of confidence that if this does happen, that we're going to make something happen from it. And it did. So then Hughesy gets it out. It's a bloody lovely little tap on as well. That's so good to get out there and score out on the edge. So yeah, that's probably my try of the night. I mean, I love Cooper Clark's one, but that's different.
So I don't think Moretti could do much there. Unfortunately, he's a big fella who got stuck in middle of no man's land, and the reason why he got stuck in no man's land was because Harry was just a wizard. His ruck play last night was second to none, some of the best I've seen in the last few years, and only probably from his. And to be able to do that and read that was just phenomenal. But to then, as you said, pass it and then to get it, and then watch Munster and Hughes, and often they made those unrewarded runs. And last night, and I loved being able to see it. It was like they were flocking. And at one point, the commentator goes, "Oh, that's $7 million worth of ball players there," which I love. And then what I will say too is to add to that, Sewer plays the defender and takes the line so well, and he hits it so hard, and then that pass out to Howarth is just fantastic.
Yeah, he waited for his moment perfectly, drawed the defender and gave the little pass. Just before that, I think there was another one where Harry, again, Kalma just lied in the ruck, and Harry just stood behind him, looked at the ref, and he knew he had time. He looked
and
up,
let the ball roll. He just lets the ball roll into him. Yep.
He's just like, mate, you're not going to come at me. Like, if they were coming at him, I dare say Harry would have bent down and picked it up. But he knew he had time. He looked at the ref. He looked down at Kalma, and he picked it up, and it was just classy. It's just like...
But he picked that right moment where he could see the ball was still rolling, and so he just waited for the ball to hit Kelmer straight away, and then as soon as it hit him, he just picks it up and goes, and then just says, "Ref, you've got nothing but to call a set restart off that."
Kelmer has to make some kind of play at getting out of the way. He can't just lie on the ground, and Harry knew it, and yeah, that's where I first noticed Harry just being a little bit crafty in there, and then this one, yeah, as you said, Moretti was on it. He was fucked. There was nothing you can do there, mate. You've just been outclassed.
Howarth next. Munster's try next.
Where have we got that? Munster. Oh, yeah, so Cooper Clark just straightened up, had a big run, and then got up in a real quick play of the ball. So Harry just gets straight all over it, and then it's just a really good pass to Hughesy, and Hughesy puts it between Volkman and Sean Russell, and it's a good piece of ball playing. Money's in the right spot again, and it's just a beautiful pass from Hughesy. But I thought I give that to Cooper Clark. That the run before, the quick get up, the quick play of the ball just puts Harry straight onto it, and those three just go to work like they should, just as professionals.
As they bloody well should, and they did really well. Then it moves on to that wicked try by Clark, which, to be fair, look, I was the one that wrote on the tries when we were questioning it. I said, God, it was tough because everyone's calling for that Jack Howarth try to be the try of the Magic round so far, and people are still saying that. And then Cooper Clark stands up and says, "Hey, boys, hold my beer because this is what I'm about to do." And off he goes. Analyse that one for us.
Well, I've just said what he did for the last try. I mean, I give that try to Cooper. Like that's unreal what he did to finish off the first half. And then to come out in the second half, he had a massive line break through the middle where I think he probably got 15 or 20 metres post-contact there because they couldn't stop him. He turned around and he just started playing downhill, and then he got down there for that one, and he's just supporting up through the middle, and Munster was all over it as soon as Moses overcommits there. But Munster had Moses on skates. He ran in too far, and then Munster seen it coming and just puts Clarkey through. It's a simple little try, but very well done from Clarkey, and well deserved because he played a really big 15 minutes there. So that was great seeing him fire up. Bellamy wasn't too happy with the early try celebration in the press conference. He said,
I want him to get the ball down first.
and fucking oath, because if you drop that one, mate, that would have been a disaster. So I kind of agree, but I also see that the young fella's scored his first try on Magic Round, and he's just come off 15 minutes of unreal footy, so he's excited. But
look, to be fair, I thought that was a really good set. Hughes was running, like he was just running, and then the craft out of the ruck from Harry Grant was fantastic, and then Munster with the ball, and I just thought Munster was good off that. He just looked simple. He just said, let's just play simple ball. I'm going to look outside and then I'm going to go inside. And it was just simple. And it was like, for me, I love, Munster played chaotic last night, but he played chaotic with simple play. And he was so good. And when Munster has that mood and he does that, my God. But then to be able to do what he just did there with that simple play, outside, inside, and then just a beautiful run by Cooper Clark. We will go down sooner or later and we will say that Cooper Clark is the best line runner in the competition with what he is showing over the last few weeks and last night, because, man, he hit some wicked lines, and I love watching him chase the ball. A forward chasing the ball. There was one moment in the first half, I think, where I think it was Munster as well. Munster ran and he had nowhere to go, and I just watched Cooper Clark run 10 metres, get behind Munster, do a full loop, say, give me the ball, and then ran in and said, listen, I'm the one that's going to make this play. I'm going to hit the line hard. I just thought that was fantastic. Then we move into Joash's try. Joash Papali's try.
We talked about the bomb. It was a tough one. Sewer should have taken it, but obviously you can't be perfect. He was very good before that. So we get past that, and then they get a scrum play, and we give them
this
3 on 4
angry,
on...
Man.
Oh, fuck, it pissed me off too. We give him 3 on 4 on the outside, and we've got Joe Chan over there, who we know isn't the fastest mover, and you leave him one out with Joash Papali, or I think it's Papali, Joash. But you leave Joe Chan one out with Joash, who's a rocket, and they just score easily in the corner. It's just shit setup. Why would we give him, like, Sewer tries to get off the back of the scrum there to try and make it a 4 on 4. Mate, I would have preferred to see put 4 out there, and then if they want to beat us on the long side, go for it that way, and at least we can...
I don't have a problem with the way that we set up the scrum. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think, and you have to be man to man, and numbers wise needs to match, and I think we matched that. And then,
it was 3 or 4.
And then power wise, I think I'm okay with what happened on the short side as well, because normally Para do the short side scrum, and they love that. And they had actually done it earlier in the game, and so I'm okay with that. Well, I'm actually and I get it. I know exactly what you're saying. Why do we leave Chan on an island against a fullback like that, who was renowned for being a good runner? But Chan freaking had 2 hands on him. Chan even was able to get his body on him. That was such a soft and piss poor defensive effort that really pissed me off. And then, especially because it only just come on, and his moment was here to really lock in on defense and show I deserve some more minutes. Because to be fair, I don't think he was even going to get on. He wasn't going to go anywhere near it. And then his defense from there was just poor. And then, unfortunately, I think Warbrick probably could have been able to tackle him too, and then he even misses with a soft tackle as well. That try really pissed me off, and that kind of said to me, that's kind of the defense that we've shown for a while, for the last 7 weeks, and I got a bit worried then.
Yeah, no, I just think you can't just leave. You can't leave him one-on-one with Joash. It's just stupid. I mean, I agree it was a shit defensive effort. He should have done better. And I also agree Warbrick could have come in and shut the gap down a little bit there. And at least if you're going to score on the outside of me, because don't score on the inside. Don't let that happen. Like, they talk about it all the time. Like, use the sideline as an extra defender if you have to. If Joash has to draw Warbrick in and they have to do that extra pass, so be it. And if we get scored in the corner, at least we shut down that other option. But to let him get through that gap just like that was weak as piss. Next is Grant. Yep. That's a pretty simple try. I think now at this part of the game, Para have dropped their heads. It's a good try, but Sewer gets that massive line break off the kick, and it was a very good kick. Moses protects Eels again, bails them out with a very good kick. Sewer. Just runs for 70, and then it was a Josh, and he just kept turning him inside and outside, and he just kept turning him inside and outside, and he's like, which way am I going to go? But he got to ground there, and he held the ball and got up, and it was a reasonably quick play of the ball. Munster got into dummy half, picked it up, and then made a really smart decision to put Harry over. Again, everyone's up running, everyone's supporting. We're all there. There's numbers in it, so good try. But in that, who were there running with Sewer the whole time, and then who was there to do the play of the ball, and then who was there to finish it? Yeah, no, they were all, the leaders were leading. Yeah, so they were just there. They were always thereabouts, and it was. If we hadn't have had so many errors, those guys just, I think we would have blown this game away. Like, that was another positive that I want to take out of this game, is just that our leaders were always there and about, wanting to run and wanting to be there. Game's over. King gets a try. Now, to be fair, King doesn't deserve a try after the 15 minutes that he just played, but was that some of the ugliest defense you've seen? I'm not here to analyze Para, but man, that was just piss poor. And if I was a Para fan, I'd be furious after that. But King gets the try. So when the kick went up and it bounced off someone's shoulder, I'm not sure, it might have been Talon's shoulder to come off, and when it stayed live, every Para player just went to sleep. They watched the ball, and Harry was like, I'm on this, I'm going to go pick it up. So at least he was playing the whistle, and nothing went wrong there, so go for it. Harry goes in, he picks up the ball, and he stays alive. He turns around, and Josh King's standing there flat-footed. We've got a mile. If we had gone left, we score every day of the week if we throw the ball out there. There's no cover. Josh King comes into the right, and just Moretti, Volkman, and Talon De Silva, just let him walk over. Now, I know the game's over, and I know there's only 10 minutes to go, and you've lost. That is the worst defense from them three. They should be, I don't know, running some laps, training on Monday, I reckon. That'll be an example setter of that game, I think. I reckon Riles will pull that as an example setter, put that on the film and say, boys,
this is the problem. The problem is that was just piss poor. But Josh King goes and gets that try, and we win the game 34-8. Before we go into a...
You said there Josh King didn't deserve a try. He was having a bit of a battle there with Moses back and forth. They were getting into each other, and Mitchy Moses was up in Joshy King's face for a bit there. And then Josh King made...
King gave him a
straight up the chest, I reckon.
I reckon it started just above the chest, just as it starts to hit the bottom of the neck, and then it just kept going, and it went up through his face. Like it did. It goes up. Moses didn't like it because Moses is a bitch, but he didn't like it, so he had to go at him for it. And I just think it's hilarious because Moses kept going, and King just gets the red head and then starts walking away, and then looks back and says, "Yeah, can't be bothered with you."
And then drops a big ball straight after that. So like that, fuck. When he dropped that ball, I was like, oh, if you're gonna talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. So there's no way he's in trouble for that. The commentary was getting into him saying, "I think we'll see more from that." No, I don't think so. That one's just one where you're pushing hard with your hand. So I know Moses wouldn't have liked it, but it was good for him to get a try so he could shake off the shit patch.
When King drops that ball, I really thought Moses might make an effort there to go at him, and I feel like Moses deserved the opportunity to actually go at him, but he couldn't. He was too far away. But yeah, King, he didn't have a great patch there. He definitely didn't deserve that try, but he got it, so it's on the scoreboard. No one's going to go through the game analysis and have a look and see what happened in the lead up to that. So he is on the board for a try. Before we go into a few other bigger talking points like reffing decisions and a few other bits and pieces, is there anything you want to talk about, particularly game analysis?
No, I think, we'll obviously go into those talking points from the game. But, I think overall we made ourselves work too hard. We shouldn't have had to work that hard. But at least we were up for working hard when we got in that position. So I think that's a game where you can take a lot of positives out of it, but you also have a lot to work on. So by no means was a polished performance, but to get 8th win in a row versus the Eels, to solidify, last week's performance against the Tigers and prove that we actually have turned a bit of a corner. It's all positive and a little bit more air in the balloon for next week. So I'm happy without being overly happy.
I am very positive about the game to take this point, and this was going to be my ending comment, but I'll say it here now and then won't end off anything. But I am positive about the game, but I'm not happy about it. And to be fair, if we play any other team other than the Tigers and the Dragons and even the Rabbits, but unfortunately the Rabbits have got a few injuries, and put that performance on, I don't think we win that game. Any other team, and I don't think we win that game. Para were ugly. Now, we forced them to be ugly, but they also were their own worst enemy. But yes, you have to take your moments. And the thing was, we were in those moments. We were there. We defended well. We scrambled well. We make an error, and we didn't put our head down and stop and allow some soft-ass try. We defended really well. So that's the difference between what I've seen, what happened last night to what happened in the previous 8 games, was just that effort. And the thing is, you can work and you can build off effort and defense, because the attack and the errors, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that probably ever again this year. You can build off your game plan, off a really big, strong defensive line like we had last night, and then you just keep going up, and it's only up from there. And then to go and win the game like we did is an absolute positive for me. Look, I honestly thought Goff is a terrible ref. I think he's been a terrible ref for a long time. Para fans will call it out and say that he absolutely hates them, and they've been saying it for a very long time, since the days they called him out, and from there on they feel like they get everything. I think, honestly, the ref got probably hidden a little bit more because of both teams handling errors and the such shit skills, but I don't think we won this game because the ref was shithouse, and I don't think Para lose the game because the ref was shithouse, but Goff was shithouse last night in my honest and absolute opinion, and we're not doing grind my gears, but I thought that was pretty shitty. But, mate, we've got a few things that you really want to talk about with some reffing decisions, so let's talk about it. So first of all, we'll start with the Sewer penalty from the push in the back.
Yeah, Harry, just a little nice. It was on the second tackle. Harry dribbled that ball in. It was a little bit long. Like, I don't think it was the perfect kick, but it was a good time to do it. And Sewer chases it in there, and he's got his hand up on the back. Now, he's not pushing. I understand the letter of the law is you can't put your hand on someone's back. I get that.
You actually are. The letter of the law doesn't stop you from putting your hand on the back. The letter of the law says that you cannot put force into him to force him to move off his line.
So they call that he pushed him at the end, and mate, I think that is so soft. Like, there needs to be some grey area in. There
would have been less than a metre left of the line. There's no way that you can say
way less.
There's no way you can say that Sewer's hand on the back affected the runner at all.
Yeah, I thought that was a terrible call there. Technically, whatever you can say, maybe fuck off.
I'm not even going to say call. Technically. That's a garbage call. Hey, and I actually take a step back. I really like that Harry kick off the second play. Like, he saw, like, how good is it seeing Harry out of the ruck on the second tackle, make a big balls play, but see that Joash was so far up and that Sewer was on the inside behind him with a great free line that all he had to do was run straight. And if I do a decent kick here, he's going to be for a chance. Sewer almost gets that. The only reason why he doesn't is because there's a bit of a foot to it. But I thought that was a really good play.
Even if he doesn't get that and Joash has to make the play and go dead, it's still a bloody good kick. We've turned him around and then we get another repeat set and Harry's just building some pressure there. I know that the short kick-offs changed the repeat sets and how that looks now, but it's a good start. It's a good little kick from Harry.
That's a play that just makes them honest, doesn't it?
Correct.
It's a defensive honesty. Now, you've just got to keep playing it because now that in the back of your mind, if Harry's kicking these in these conditions, shit, that changes the way we have to play. But I agree, that was a disgusting penalty. I thought that was soft and weak as piss. Next is Goff. Goff made us use 2 challenges in the first half with some bad on-field calls. We were lucky with some good challenges by Harry, but bad refereeing.
Yeah, and I put both of them there. When Kalman knocked on and they called it, like, we had to use a challenge there, come back, bad call. And then the next one, Jerome Hughes gets the ball kicked into himself. He traps it between his legs. Then Talon Da Silva knocks on and we had to use a challenge there. So we've used 2 challenges, which we haven't been great at this year. So, like, thank God, first half 2 challenge.
I'm still stuck in the mind of the Pappenhausen challenge that actually went against him. And he was but yeah, anyway.
So that's 2 where Goff's made the wrong call, and then also that Junior Paulo when Harry stripped it, they Parra got one as well where it was a bad call and they overturned it. So that's a third one where Goff's got it wrong. And then in the second half, it wasn't any better. The bunker had to overrule 2 calls from Goff as well, on field as well. So I can give you 5 off the bat where he's got it wrong on the field. And what? Is he going to get a game next week? I'm not saying that cost the game. I'm saying we were better than them. We would have won regardless of these calls. But like the fact that we're even bringing up 5 decisions where someone's got it wrong, they need to be accountable too. I thought he had a horrible game.
I thought he was absolutely horrible. That Junior Paulo one where Harry strips it, like, Harry was magical to be able to even just get his hand off the back to be able to go and strip that. But how the fuck did Goff not see that? Like, it was so clear. And I'm just like, what? Like, at the time, I'm like, Harry strips that. Like, that's a very clear Harry puts his arm through and gets it, because it's like Junior Paulo's so big and the ball was sideways. He had his hands like this. And then here's this big gaping hand through the middle, scrapes it back. I'm just like, what are you doing, man? I get it. Harry does that, and we're Storm people, but let's call a spade a spade. That was just poor. And how he missed TDS, stripping that out of those hands. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get how he didn't see that was a very clear TDS strip. And TDS is Talon De Silva, like, right on that goal line. And the thing is, right, here's the point, and the point that I want to make to this, and I don't know if this is what you were going to say. We didn't talk off air on this other than just that we put this in our agenda. But the point is that if you make teams have to make challenges where I don't feel like they should be making challenges, and it goes against them for whatever reason, or because they start to feel like they've got to make these challenges because the ref is not on, and they make a bad challenge. When you get a moment like that TDS strip or whatever that could end up being a try, when we all know it's that, but because you don't have a challenge, that's when the game is called out, where people are just like, what the fuck's going on? It was so bad last night, and it was bad both ways, but that infuriates me because you only get the one challenge, and when a ref is making calls like that, you know, and pushing the envelope for teams to do challenges, and then in the back of the mind, the captain's sitting there going, "Oh, I probably should challenge this because the ref's been so shit." I don't think a captain should be playing like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like the Storm have tried to hold challenges up their sleeve in case you need it for the right time of the match. Like that there, we're up by 6 points, or we're up by, in the first half, 6 points when we've had to make those decisions. Do you need to make the challenge there to try and overturn it? Probably not, but you take a risk anyway because you think that the refs made a shit call. Now, last week, the same thing happened with Trent.
Yes.
We didn't challenge that because, you know, it's so early in the game and we're in front, so we don't challenge that. We don't get that ball back. But then later in the game, we do make a challenge and we fuck it up. And that's because we put pressure on ourselves. But the refs put pressure. I don't know. It's just, it annoys me.
Yep. Agreed. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is that Moses 40-20 attempt. Now, Moses wants to challenge it, and you can clearly see that he says, I want to challenge, and fucking what a good kick. God, he's a freak. I marvel at how good his boot is. That kick is unreal. And it gets called, it's not a 40-20 because he has his foot just on the line or just over it or whatever it is, but he puts his hand up and he says, I want to challenge. And the ref turns around and says, no, it's already been confirmed. In my view, I don't think the ref should turn it, and I don't think the bunker should be sitting there saying, boys, we're going to have a look at this. Let's save this challenge. No fucking way. No. If he's sitting there yelling, I want to challenge, and then it should be a challenge. Irrelevant. The ref shouldn't turn around and say, no, we've already confirmed it, so it's already good. Don't worry about your challenge and save it. Like, I think that's garbage. I was pretty pissed about that.
Yeah, look, and we chatted about it last night. That's why we're bringing it up. And I'm on the other side of this one. I think if that's a 40-20, it's a 40-20 and it's clean. It should be called clean. You shouldn't have to challenge whether it is or it isn't. That should be one of those decisions where the umpires and the bunker just get it right. So I sit on the other side of you with this one, and I agree. He was trying to challenge it, and he did try and put it on, but straight away Goff went back to him and just said, it's already been confirmed, so you don't need to. I do see your argument that if you want to waste the challenge on that, go for it. But there's other times in the game where the ref will say, "Are you sure you want to challenge that? Because I'm telling you, this is what happened." So it's not like it's something that was really random. We do see it on other situations as well. But I see your point.
And I see yours, and you're wrong, Aaron. I just wanted to call it out. It's valid and it's agreed. And if you take a step back to what we just said before about the refs making poor calls and that we have to put challenges out there, it's a little bit contradictory or whatever to what our opinions are saying. But here's the point that steps back is that if the refs weren't so shit, we wouldn't have to be doing this stuff. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to say. And so here, but well, that's... Moses knows that's close. Moses knows that's close, and he's adamant that he got that right. And because he was the one that kicked that, and then he, as the captain, stands up and says, I want a challenge, irrelevant of whether the bunker has said it's been confirmed or not, it should be a challenge. As soon as he says, I'm challenging, I want a challenge, it's got to be. To me, that has to be, because he was the one that kicked it. He knows it's close. He's adamant that he did that right and that you guys are wrong. then to me that's a clear that challenge should go through.
Moses probably seen the 2 challenges that just got overturned and thought, well, fucking, is this ref actually watching the game? So
Yeah,
I'm going to challenge that. You know, like that's the chat we just had, I suppose.
That's right. Yeah, and that's right. Cool. That's. Let's just put it down to the refs for shithouse again. Although I thought the bunker was okay. Aaron, why did we win?
Effort. I'm going to go on effort. Defense was what I was most proud of. I thought our second row were unreal. Both of them were fantastic. Lasardi, again, 44 tackles, no miss. Blore on the other edge came up with some huge plays. It just looks like they've really settled down our defense. And,
yes,
and we're working as a unit on those edges. And 3 weeks, or let's go back more. Let's go back 5 weeks ago. When we were the laughing stock of the NRL. Our edges were leaky as... now teams are struggling to find a way through, which is a positive, and it's only going to get better. I mean, now that these guys are working into 80 minutes every week and everyone's feeling a little bit more confident together, I think it's only going to get better as the year goes on.
And you know what I loved about that? Both of those 2 boys played 80, which I just love off the back of, 3 weeks in now with the 5-6 week injuries. Are great. They both got big run meters with 11 hit runs and 13 runs for Blore and Lasardi respectively for over 100 meters, which I just, as edge back rowers, like I just think that's awesome. And the thing is, right, the league is blessed with amazing back rows. We watched in the game beforehand, Ola Kawatu just absolutely dominate. We've got your Hudson Youngs, your Prestons, Nanai when he can stay healthy. There's some amazing back rowers, and we have probably the best one who's not playing this year in Eli Katoa. And our boys are sitting there making us proud by doing what they're doing, laying on the back of the platform with some just amazing tackles, great hold up. Like Blore, offensively and attacking wise, he didn't do much. He just had to get the ball off a short play off a Munster and attack the line, get down, get the play of the ball. Blore's game last night defensively was great, but Lasardi, I really like. And it leads into the conversation that I think we won this game last night because our effort on defense was just fantastic. It was just awesome, and we were able to hold them out legally with the ruck speed. We were able to get, not let them get too far in their meters. I think they only averaged 30 odd, just under in the low 30s per set. It stuck out that they had multiple under 10 meter sets. They had multiple under 20 meter sets. They had multiple between 20 and 30. And it really stuck out to me that our defense was allowing that. And the only reason why they got field position was because of their kicker. I thought defensively and discipline wise, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, they blew out a little bit in the second half, but I think we only gave away 1 penalty in the first half, and I don't think it was a penalty. I was blowing up about it.
So it was
bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit. So we gave away one penalty in the first half, and look, it did blow out a little bit in the second half, but I thought discipline-wise that the ruck speed, he let it go. I mean, I think both teams were down in the 3.3s or 3.2s. Yep. Is that what I wrote?
Yeah, you wrote 3.38 and 3.34.
So it was a little bit quicker than usual, so he's let it go a little bit, but I thought we adapted to that, and as I said, the markers just couldn't handle Harry in and around the ruck. He didn't really dominate. Like, when I say he didn't dominate in there, he made a massive difference in there, but it wasn't like he's gone to town and absolutely carved up through the middle. But those little things that he does do in there really just scatters that Parramatta defence. They're all compressing. They're all worried about what Harry potentially might do, and it just leaves holes elsewhere.
It was 10-4, and even the commentators said with the last 3 minutes, I feel like each team really needs halftime to come because this is bad. Then it was 10-4 going in a halftime, and we win the game 34-8, and I thought we won the game because we locked in on defense, like we've said, but our attack was, we made the most of our opportunities in that second half, and to put 24 points on was very Storm-like, and I'm very proud of that. Is there anything else you want to talk about game-wise?
No, I think I'm good.
No. Let's go to 3, 2, 1. So whilst I get my phone so that I can type these in and do this live, Aaron, do you want to start?
I'm going to stick with my votes that I gave last night. I've watched the game 1.5 times since, but I'm going to stick with my live votes because I thought Cooper Clark deserves my 3 votes. I not necessarily think he was the best player on the park, but for the kid to come on off the bench and do what he did and change a bit of momentum there and be involved in the first try and then score one himself and make a few big line meters, if he can do that in, what did it say?
42 minutes.
Played, 40 minutes, 11 runs, 134 meters, a try, 54 post-contact. He's had a bloody good game. So I'm going to stick with Cooper. I think that's a bit of a fan favourite vote, giving him the 3, but I'm sticking with it. I gave my 2 to Munster. I as you said, he was calm. Like he was crazy, but he was calm, and he really did just lead from the. Yeah, he wasn't like erratic and out of control and being crazy, but he was playing off the cuff, and he's got this little skip in his game, and he just looks like he's found some form. So I'm going to give my 2 to Munster. And I went with Moses last night. I thought Moses' first half was unreal, 150 metres in 50 odd minutes. Watching back, I did see a couple of mistakes there in his game, so I might have changed there, but I'm going to stick with it because just when the game was up for grabs, Moses' damage on that left edge was unreal. I thought he really came to play, so I'll stick with 1 with Moses.
Fair enough. I've got 3 Munster. I thought he was clear, far and above best on game. I think we summed it up well. He was chaotic, but he was simple. And when he's playing like that, he's one of the best players in the competition. He was awesome. I've got 2. To me, Harry Grant, the way that he controlled the ruck, his ball play, his smarts, his kicking game was on. His defense was fantastic. Like most of our attacking sets were based off, and our tries, it was Harry Grant touching the ball 3 times, 3 times, and quick play the balls. He was, to me, by far and above just a no-brainer second. 2 and 1. Oh, this was a hard one. For where it was, I really liked Lasardi's game. I thought Leo was best on at halftime. Unfortunately, he only plays 12 more minutes. Hopefully, I haven't seen whether that knee injury is anything, but it looked bad. He was limping. Pain in the knee from an injury like that generally means that it's not good. I really liked Sua, which I didn't give an opportunity to, but I thought Sua's game was fantastic. I thought Blaw's game was fantastic, but I'm going to go down to my 1 vote is Howarth. I think this coincides. Look, I'll say it this way. The edge back rowers in Lasardi and Blaw have absolutely changed our game since starting to play big minutes for us. But it also coincides with Howarth shifting to the left and locking down that left side defence that has now not been such a diabolical liability. Howarth locking that down has meant that our winger in Peel last week looked really good, and our winger this week in Leo has looked really good. And there's no coincidence with that. And then that Howarth try, the Howarth runs and his defence, his effort and what he does, he just doesn't seem to, at the moment, be doing much wrong. And he's really, to me, it's in that kind of origin centre form. And I really like the way Howarth is playing at the moment. So I've gone with him.
If your centres are taking 16 runs and 18 runs at 167 metres, you're on a good thing. I mean, he put 61 post-contact metres in. He looked dangerous. That edge in attack is so potent now. Like that, if those guys fire, that's a dangerous edge.
Love it. I love when you help confirm that I was right and you're wrong. Well done, Aaron. You're a champion, man. You got no banter for me? Oh, come on, bring up the banter. Give me the love. Give me it. No. All right, the community at the moment, and I'll close it by... I think what I'll do is I'll give it 24 hours. I like to do at least 24 hours, so we'll close it Monday morning. But right now we've got Kalak with the 3 from the community. 2 is Leo from the community. Oh, I love that they've picked him up and said him, because I think that's awesome. And the 3rd vote goes to Grant, which is surprising. As in, no Munster there, but that's cool. I can see where you're at the moment. We're going to close that in the next 20... We'll close it probably tomorrow morning. Dude, let's get into some community questions, because I put on the post about that. So I'm just going to quickly go up there. Is there anything anything you want to talk about whilst I bring it up? Here it is.
No, not overly. No, I think we've covered a lot of the game, and No, let's go the community questions there.
Matthew has said, who are you putting in to replace Steph? Oh, Stefano's not going to Origin. He ain't making the Origin team. So I'm not going to say we're replacing Steph, but Harry and Munster. And then I'll tell you what he wrote. But Harry, let's just go simply Harry and Munster. Let's lock that down. Shit, if Stefano's in the Origin team and Origin camp, I don't know. I'm going to be incredibly surprised, because there ain't no way I'm picking Stefano in front of AFB, Kula Matangi, bloody Terrell May, Alex Twal, Jackson Ford. No chance.
Yeah, they're blessed for choice. I don't think Steph will get picked either.
So, who are you putting in to replace Harry as the 9? First of all, let's go with that.
So it's only 2 weeks away now, so Wishy's not going to be back. So
nope.
Wishy's not there. So you've got Trent Tolau or you've got Gabriel Satrick, who's actually, mate, there's people talking about him as a very good up-and-coming hooker. So I think you're probably going to see Gabriel Satrick get a go at hooker, and I think you're going to see Tolau play 14. That would be my guess. I think they'll work together, and I think people will... Mate, I've seen some of his highlights. He's got it. He's a good little hooker. So, I mean, it's going to be a baptism of fire, but that's what I think we're going to go with for the hooker position.
I like it. You've got Tolau at the 14, so then who replaces Munster at 6?
Yeah, fair call. Yeah, all right.
Change it.
That makes it.
Change the 14. I think you answered the question about who was going to be the hooker. You can change. Let's change the team entirely.
Ooh, well, maybe Tolau obviously has to go in the half. I didn't think about it as 2 levels. I just thought about it as 1. So
that was you answered the question as per how I asked, and you answered it. So let's now take a step back and go. Okay, so Harry and Munster are now going. You've got Satrick replacing Harry at the 9. Who replaces Munster?
Well, obviously Tolau goes into the 6 there, but that leaves me a little bit struggling to pick who we're going to go with 14.
Injuries are not nice to us at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few options there. We can just change the way we play a little bit, and maybe we well, I don't know. Maybe Stanley Hewen gets some more time. It's tough.
It's also tough because we're going to have to replace Leo, it looks like. So now we've got to get a winger out there, and we didn't play a winger in our 20 this week.
What about if you move Meaney out of the centres and you play, or you move Meaney potentially. You probably can't put him in the halves, but you could think about it. He'd do a solid job there.
I wouldn't.
I think either way we're going to detract. We're going to cause some dramas. Whatever we do, we're going to have to plug some holes. So it's going to be a tough time.
We've got
And
holes to plug, and we've got an extra hole because Leo's out. So this changes our team entirely. So it's not just simply Harry and Munster that need to be replaced. I'm going to assume that Leo does not play, and I'm going to assume that Leo's out for a few weeks. Now, is Mania healthy?
Yeah, he's healthy, yeah.
All right, so I think Mania probably has to go out to the wing with next to Howarth, which, you know what, with the way that we've actually gone, I'm okay with that because Howarth has really made Leo and Peel look really good since going it. So I'm okay with that because Mania's got speed to burn and he's a winger. So I'm okay with him going out that way and just leaving the Warbrick Meany combination out on the right. So that just means to me who replaces Grant, sorry. I've got Satrick myself. I think he's just a gun. And these are the moments that you've got to do. You've got to play to keep a guy like him happy and within the team. So, and you're only as good as your depth. And when you know that our mid-20s Harry Grant is going to play Origin every single year, plus also sit out a few games, plus also maybe get injured every now and then, you've got to have depth, and Satrick's that guy. For me, Tolau comes into the 6, and then the 14, I'm okay with Huon going to the 14 because he's quite utility. He's built as a bit of a utility. Like, he's a big boy, but, you know, he can play everywhere, I feel like. So I'm okay with Huon going to the 14. And then I'd have Clark 15, Mawali 16. Chan keeps his spot because just simply we have to play that. Pahulu gets that spot there. And that's kind of how I would melt myself. I don't want to play too much with our team.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could get a full game out of Trent Tolau in the halves and not really have to worry too much about the 14 position. I mean, we're going to have to go into the depth, but it'd be nice if we can just guarantee 80 minutes out of Tolau in the halves, and then that takes a little bit of pressure on the rotation for the bench.
Now, I'm not going to... I'll make this really quick. If there's, by some weird-ass thing that Laurie Daly, because Laurie Daly does make some stupid decisions, Stefano is in the camp, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, I mean, Pahulu was close this week. I think we're going to use him at some stage. He's there. He's going to get a run probably soon. It might be next week, you know. So he will have to play twos this weekend. So hopefully he has a good outing in the twos and can put himself up into that conversation anyway because people want to see him.
Love it. The next question is, from Vinny? Sorry, that other question was from Matthew Quinnell. Thanks, Matty. If I ever need someone to put in a post or answer a question or send us something, Matthew is there. And I'm giving him one of the best fan badges. Vinny Smith, what's the deal with Hetherington? Is there a reason why he's not being utilised? His form, attitude? Just curious why he's not making the side. I thought he was injured last week.
Look, I don't know. He's had a couple of runs. He hasn't done anything outstanding.
Yeah.
I also, I don't think he's done anything too wrong, but like just having a look here, Jack Hetherington last week against Western Magpies, 42 minutes, 4 hit-ups, 43, like that's pretty lackluster. You need to stamp your authority and really earn your jersey. And like, if you're playing 42 minutes and getting 4 hit-ups, I probably
if you're a legitimate... Enough. Sorry to cut you there, man, but if you're a legitimate, feel like you're a professional player and you want to be playing NRL and you were signed into this team to be playing NRL and you haven't had opportunities, what you need to do is you need to go back and go, okay, well, I'm a legitimate NRL player. I need to own, as a forward, I need to own the Rezzies, and he hasn't. And so when he's been in there, he hasn't owned the Rezzy spot.
That's it. The week before, he's had 59 minutes, 8 runs for 85 metres. Like it's
not good enough.
You go out there and put 15 runs on and show that you want it, show that you're prepared to work, and then maybe you'll get a call up.
Here's the thing. If he goes and does 52 minutes, 8 runs for 50 odd minutes in NRL, what are you going to say?
Not enough.
Okay, and he's doing that in the Rezzies.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
There's your
Yeah,
answer.
no, I want my forwards all having more than 10 runs every single week. Every single week. Like, that's what you're there for. So, yeah. I just want to see more effort. And I also think our pack's looking all right. I thought when Morali come on, I mean, he made a shit mistake.
Yes, he did.
But he defended really well. Yeah, that was fucking horrible.
Yeah, he did.
I think my remote nearly went through the window when that happened. But he did defend well.
He did.
And he had a crack last night. So I'm pretty happy with the way our pack's looking. And Alex can't be too far away as well. Now, Alex...
he doesn't deserve a spot.
McDonald?
Yep, he doesn't deserve a spot.
I think he definitely does deserve a spot if he's playing his best footy. If we can get him doing what he does best, which is get Harry downfield, I think he'll come back into the side for sure. But it's just right now, I think Moali keeps his spot. Clark definitely keeps his spot. And I thought, like, Trent was, again, very simple last night, but I think he's under some pretty strict orders to be very simple at the moment. It just feels that way.
And I like it because I think he's been good.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining about it, although he did do one really, really dumb thing, and I just went, oh, man, you're just not helping yourself by doing that. But
the drop
there
ball?
was, yeah.
Shit.
That was. No, and I love that you said that. If Alec McDonald is playing his best, he deserves a spot. 100% he does, but he hasn't. And he hasn't at all this year, really. So I'm not going to... he does not deserve his spot. So he needs to
put him
go
in the
through...
twos.
He needs to go
Correct.
through the resis and show that he's back to his best and get back. Because you know what? The best way to create form in your team is to have competition for spots. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it now. Competition for spots. And with our forwards... we are at a blessing where we have competition for spots and they're starting to pick up. So I'm loving that. That's it for us. Stay tuned for Tuesday's jersey giveaway, Origin or Storm decision. That's going to be big, and I've got a really special surprise for that one. It's going to be wicked. So get on and watch that one. It's great to get a back-to-back game, get around and have that. Let us know. Do all those free things that can help support us. Free likes, communicate, share the posts, engage with us, comment. It's going nuts. We're struggling to keep up, but we love it. We're trying. We're doing our best, but we've got so many people in our comments that are trying to do that. That's free ways for us to continue to grow, continue to help you. Aaron and I are not making any money. I know there was a comment around sponsorships and posting out sponsorships and stuff. We use that money to make our product better by getting headphones, by getting laptops, by being able to get a good website so that we can make our content better, all of that sort of stuff. So like our page, follow us on Instagram as well, subscribe to your Spotifys, to your YouTubes, put all the stars, do the 5 stars, give us ratings, do all that sort of stuff. That's everything like that just supports us. That's all I'm asking for. That helps us go. If you are someone that wants to...
Trevi.
Sorry?
2,000 views on our YouTube video last week, which means people are listening. I mean, whether you're liking it or you're not liking it or you think we're wankers, you're still watching it. So, yeah, well, we definitely are. So, but you're still watching it, so it's good, man. We love people getting around it. So, as Trav said, just give it a like and a follow, and then that just gets our content into the algorithm. And if the algorithm gets shared, we grow. If we grow, we make some more money, and then we can really do some good things. We can push to make bigger things happen. And don't worry, we're trying behind the scenes now to make these things happen. We're asking questions, we're asking the right people, we're trying to stick our nose in where probably we're not welcome right yet, but in the coming years when we've got 10,000, 20,000 people on our page and we've got a bit of weight behind us, we'll crack these markets that we're trying to crack. And when we do, we'll get some really good content and some good interviews, hopefully.
Hey, Azza. Let's start the hashtag. Hashtag 27 Purple Rain go to Vegas. Hashtag Vegas round Purple Rain. See you later, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Have a great weekend. We love yous.
2-0, let's go.
Baby.